Welcome to the Cozy Con Corner podcast. We're your hosts, Grace,
Dorothy,
and Bekah.
It's been a pretty lazy week for all of us.
Yeah, I've
right?
done nothing. Oops.
Yeah.
Same. I binged watched some shows. That's about it.
Yeah, same. Exactly same.
So, you guys know with Orin High School Host Club, alright?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And how
A
they're
classic.
like, there's always those teasers every year about a season 2, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've fallen for it every year without fail.
No,
For, like,
Grace.
the last 10 to 12 years.
Grace!
I don't know how long, but when that first came out, I fall for it every year. And
No.
once again, this week, I saw on my TikTok people talking about season 2. And for a split second, I had faith.
No.
I was like, oh my god, the season 2 is coming. I've been waiting this for years. I know it's a lie. I know it is. But in my
Every
heart,
time.
I hope it's true. It's every time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
always get
getting
you.
rid of Orin High School Club off of Netflix at the
Oh,
end of
really?
March.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
So
I did not know.
I'm
about
like,
that
I
one.
know.
Mm.
I know that for a fact it can't happen now. Unless, I don't know. So today, when I was scrolling through TikTok a bit, I saw, and I don't know if it's true because I have not researched this yet, but Netflix might be making a live action adaptation of Orin High School Host Club. Might.
It's gonna be so bad. Did you see the Death Note adaptation? Like, it was horrible.
God.
Well, no, they did.
Like-
Netflix did. Okay, as long as they don't Americanize it, we'll be okay. Because have you guys seen the Full Metal Alchemist one they did?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No,
Amazing.
I wanted, after the Death Note one, I was like, I want to keep Full Metal Alchemist separate. I'm gonna keep that alive
Yeah.
for right now.
Oh my god. It was so bad.
Like, the Death Note one is just horrific.
I can agree with that.
I watched it with an open mind, too. Everyone was saying it was bad, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not. Oh, it was. Oh.
I watched it a month or so after it came out, because I was like, it can't be that bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, no, they've already come out with a live action Orin High School Host Club. Like, there's already. I don't know if it was a TV show. There was a movie for it, though. I know for a fact.
They've done that with a lot of popular anime, but they're forgettable, kind of.
Yeah. I was desperate in that time, so I looked it up and watched
Yeah.
it. You know, because you can find that stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, true.
If you look hard enough, you can find it on YouTube, so I watched it. But hopefully it will be Japanese and not, and they don't Americify it.
As
And
long
they
as
keep
they
it
don't...
to them.
trying to think of a name that they would have changed, like... Because they changed, like, Light Yagami to Light Turner, which still doesn't make sense. Like, okay.
Light Turner?
Yeah, that's his
Just
name in the
Haruhi
movie.
Johnson.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
Oh, Tamaki Smith.
Oh! That!
Honey Senpai is just, like, not even there.
Mr. Honey? What are they gonna do? Upperclassman Honey?
This is not good news then.
Then they'd have to, like,
No.
take out all of the twins. Because, like, the whole...
All
their
that.
whole dynamic is just, like...
No, it's perfect! They'll just put the setting in Alabama, and it all comes together.
Orin High School Host Club in Alabama, where everything can make sense there.
Yeah. The twins aren't weird, like, right? Not there.
Man, I just imagine, though, the twins in, like, an Alabama twins.
Imagine them just being like, oh my god, that's so weird. They're twins. Like, I'm dating my cousin, but I'd never date my brother. Like, that's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this week.
You know, Oron does deserve to have a second season. It's so popular. And it's
I
kind
think they deserve a
mainstream, too.
remake. because if Fruits Basket can get a remake, they deserve a remake, because then they can actually have consistent animation style with the first and second season that they do.
True.
Well, and then, like, there's definitely more to the manga in Ouran High School Host Club. Like, that's, like, where the story ends in season 1 is not all of it. I think they just don't animate it so that you read the manga instead, which is what a lot of things do.
Also, another thing I've been thinking about real hard and researching. The Hokey Pokey. The Hokey Pokey. I know, you guys are giving me weird looks right now. I've already had this whole dilemma about the Hokey Pokey. And yes, I am talking about the dance, the Hokey Pokey. You turn yourself around and that's what it's all about. Yeah, so with the Hokey Pokey, it's giving you instructions on how to dance. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, and you shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey. What is the Hokey Pokey? You do the Hokey Pokey, then you turn yourself around. What move is the Hokey Pokey?
We always just, like, shimmied.
Yeah, like the cha-cha. What is a cha-cha? You know, you just give it a little wiggle. A little elbow movement.
Like, I've watched so many YouTube videos, and everyone does the Hokey Pokey different. Is it like your own rendition of the Hokey Pokey? Is that the Hokey Pokey?
It's about individuality, self-expression, the Hokey Pokey.
After doing a dance of where it tells you the steps.
Yeah.
This is the one part that you get to choose.
Let yourself shine.
Because I know I talked about this with some other people, and they're like, it's when you turn yourself around. I'm like, no, that's after the Hokey Pokey.
Yeah.
So what is the Hokey Pokey?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking about that a bit. Just, what about you guys?
I've not thought about the Hokey Pokey in a really long time, so it is never in my brain.
I think about those things a lot. Okay.
I thought you were gonna reference BoJack Horseman, to be honest, because there's like a really deep quote about the Hokey Pokey, and I was like, is she gonna bring that up right now? Did she hear this somewhere and not know it's from BoJack? Like, no.
What quote from BoJack Horseman?
It's basically just, like, it's at the end of the show, but one character is like, the end of the song means you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Like, the song's telling you to change yourself for the better, and that's what it's all about.
Is that really what it's all about?
No, that's just a quote from a show about a talking horse that makes you cry. So
I think it's just a kid's dance, so it's okay.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have some deep meaning.
Well, I mean,
no.
London Bridge is falling down.
No, I don't think Hokey Pokey's... No, it's just like I said, it's from the show. I thought we were gonna bring it up. I was like, is she? No.
No. Is there anything else we want to add to this character development? I talked about my worries and thoughts. What about you guys?
I don't know how to go from there.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I just keep rewatching Haikyuu, but other than that, nothing else.
Yeah, same. Same.
I don't know, is there anything that you guys have thought about? Like, or have just, like, in the past, where you're like, well, that could happen. But what about this? You know, just or anything you would like to add to your character? This is now a D&D campaign where you can be chaotic neutral, chaotic bad, chaotic good.
Just chaotic? There's no other levels to that?
No.
That's it?
It's only chaotic. I don't know if you guys have realized it's chaotic. We are chaotic. I mean, we're not actually chaotic.
You're chaotic.
Which makes you all if you are socializing with me, you all are chaotic with me.
Nah, I mean, I don't know about me, but I feel like Bekah is definitely lawful or neutral. Those are the other options, right?
Yeah.
No, Bekah's not chaotic.
What are you then? Are you lawful?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be chaotic. It depends on the time of day and how much I've had to eat, honestly. If I'm hungry, I'm pretty chaotic. So let's not have that happen. Please feed me. Anyways, yeah. You know what I have noticed, though?
What?
Like, repeatedly, with about Haikyuu a little bit, the fandom, a lot of people kin Kenma. Like,
Oh,
you typically
yeah.
have that in shows. Like, there's a certain character that a lot of people
Puddinghead.
latch onto.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But a lot of people kin Kenma. And, like, no one else from Haikyuu, but just Kenma.
To be more precise, if you didn't listen to last episode, Kenma's the one with the red jerseys, Nekuma. He's the setter for that team, and it's
I did
Haikyuu.
talk about him last time.
Puddinghead. Yeah, we wanted a whole rant about like, figuring out who Kenma was to my dad.
Like, I knew who Kenma was before I even watched Haikyuu, because I had a friend who kinned him.
Also, explain what kinning means.
Oh, I don't think we have enough time for that. Well...
Is it more than just, like, you relate to the character?
Yes.
'Cause that's how I always
Yeah.
took
Yes,
it.
it's more than that.
Oh.
It's a little deeper.
It's kind of like spirit animal. Like, it's like their spirit character. Is that a
bit.
good way to describe it?
So I don't kin people a lot, so I'm not like huge on kinning, so I might not be the best person to ask, but I think I understand it the most out of us three, to be honest, because I've had a lot of conversations with kinnies about this kind of stuff. But typically, it's like you relate to the character a lot, you see something in them like yourself, but then a lot of times you also see attributes in them that you don't have that you want to have. So you start acting like the character more because you have something to go off of. So it's almost like a guide a bit.
Oh.
And it can also be like a comfort character, like because you see yourself and then you feel comfortable cosplaying them or just being surrounded by images of the character. It's also like you are the character, like you see them and it's like, that's me. It's not just, oh, I'm a lot like that character. It's like, it's a deep emotional connection with the character. Like if you're watching this and you roleplay, if there's a certain character you roleplay a lot, there's a good chance that you do kin them and you might not even know it. Just if you feel that emotionally connected to them. If you feel more comfortable when you're role-playing as them.
Yeah.
Rather than a different character, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Dorothy, you're so good at explaining stuff.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dorothy puts it into English for all of us.
It's interesting. I didn't understand it for a long time, and then I sat and I had like an hour-long conversation with one person who had a whole bunch of kins, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I still don't 100% understand. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, for a while, I thought it was just, like, you heavily related to them. That's not it, apparently. Like,
I mean, that can be part of it. You can also kin a character for different reasons. Like I said, it could be because you want to be like them, so you start acting more like them. Or it could just be, oh, like, that's literally me on the screen. But
yeah.
The big part is that it's like, it's a deep emotional connection.
A lot of people will just see it differently, I feel like.
And also can depend on the character. Like, maybe they feel a certain way, like they kin one character for one reason, different for another reason.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's different for everyone then.
A lot of people kin Kenma, though. That's all I was saying. He's popular to kin.
Kenma, look-wise, is one of my favorites. Look-wise, because I love his hair.
I
His
like
hair is
Nishinoya's hair.
Nishin, yes.
Yeah. the like, almost
He's
like...
got a little
bleach
blonde patch
like,
in the center of his head.
spot. Yeah. It's either, like, a
It's so cute.
birthmark, or he bleached it like that. Like...
He probably just thought it was cool. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bleach this little spot in the middle of my head, and that'll get me the girls. That's it.
I'm not going full head, because that's too much commitment. Like, I'm just gonna do one spot in the middle, right there.
Oh no, I bet it's like his mom is blonde and has to like bleach her roots to get out the grays, and he found the box in the trash can, and was like, oh look, there's leftover bleach, and he used that to just get this spot in his hair.
Or... he helps her bleach her hair, and then he always just, like, ends up, like, wiping sweat, like, in that area.
He wiped the sweat off his forehead. He's like, oh crap.
He's like, oh no!
That's probably it. I mean, that's more canon. That's more in character.
I agree with that one. This week, Dorothy and Bekah will be... Yeah, it's Dorothy and Bekah. Oh my god.
Bekah.
What?
Bekah, the world's greatest competition cosplayer! Little did you know, she makes all of her costumes from scrap, makes the fabric herself! Everything goes! You think they're good because you used raw leather? She cut the cow apart herself and made her own hide.
Oh my god.
Dorothy's gonna be explaining. She's gonna be telling us stories and going in deep about cosplay competitions.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to relate and go along with it. Don't worry, we're there. I don't know. I actually it's like I've seen cosplay competitions vaguely. At least I think I have. I could be totally wrong.
You're always stuck in the vendors' hall, so it's not like you can go.
Yeah. It's like I've heard about them, and I've seen the ones where they were in the vendors hall and they had it on the stage right there, but I don't know anything about it.
I've never been to a con where the cosplay competition was in the vendors hall.
Yeah, me
Oh,
neither.
I say. Yeah.
It's at smaller
I've only
cons,
been
though.
to like
Yeah, you've been to a lot more cons though.
Yeah. So Dorothy, if you will take it away.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of cosplay competitions. Ever since the first con I went to, I have hardly ever missed the cosplay competition at a convention. Sometimes they're called different things, sometimes they're called cosplay competitions. In recent years, it's been a trend to call them cosplay masquerades, because a masquerade sounds like a dance with masks and, it's a costume, right, kind of thing. And it sounds less competitive than calling it competition or a contest. So, but that's still what it is, but they call it masquerade sometimes to make it sound lighter, which is very confusing. A lot of people at cons who, if it's their first time going to a convention, are confused because they think the masquerade is a dance and they don't realize it's a cosplay competition. But, yeah. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's a really popular thing. I've heard it called the Cosplay Cat Walk. Yeah, lots of little names for it.
I don't like that one.
Oh, you don't like the catwalk?
No. I don't know
No,
why.
I like it.
It just sounds funky to me.
No. Little cat name in it. Yeah, I've only missed it. I want to say, I don't think I missed it more than 3 times in every single con I've ever gone to. I think I've only missed it like 3 times. Sometimes I leave early, because it stinks when you leave and there's a giant crowd. Like, I will line up hour before it's supposed to start and to go and watch. But yeah, so the thing about cosplay contests, everyone's different, right? Like, it's depending on the convention. With everything at a convention, everything varies, like, to a ridiculous degree. But typically you have 2 categories in a cosplay contest. You have a performance category where you can do a skit, you can dance, you can sing, something like that, where you're in character. Or there's craftsmanship, and that's whenever you make the costume yourself and you're being judged on your craftsmanship. You're not being judged on how good you look in the cosplay. You're not being judged on how well your body type matches the character, anything like that. You're just being judged on your actual craftsmanship work, your craft in constructing the costume.
So, like, if someone was going to do a skit and then they also had okay, so I'll explain that.
If someone wanted to do a skit but they made the costume themselves, is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Yes.
So is that 2 separate categories? Is that 1 category? And they like are going into both categories? Like, what is?
So it depends on the
situation?
con, but typically if you made your costume and you want to also do a skit, you're allowed to enter into both categories, but you can only win one. You can't win both categories.
Oh.
Yeah. That's usually how it works, but there are some where you have to just pick one. And I have seen some cons, this is horrible, I hate this very much, where they merge them. And you have to make your costume even to do a skit, which isn't fair. That's 2 different skill sets.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Or if they have an advantage, if they made it.
Yeah. Like, some people, they're just like for Love Live, we're just like, they just want to dance the dances from the anime. Like, and that's it. They're hard dances, and they learn them, and that's all they want to do. I feel like that's really unfair for cons to combine those and be like, well,
yeah,
if you want to dance, they all have to be made costumes, which is ridiculous. Because that group is like 9 people.
Yeah, not fair at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not fair at all. I've heard of, specifically it was actually Love Live group that won in a contest, and a friend of mine had tried to be in a cosplay contest, and she got completely turned off of it, didn't want to do it again, because she entered just to do a dance. She hadn't made her costume, and then another group also did a dance. But the group won because they made their costume and she didn't.
Wow.
Because they merged the categories. And she said she was convinced that her dance was way better than the other person's, but they won because they made their costumes. Like, that's not fair. That's two different categories. Why did they get the advantage?
Yeah.
That's really frustrating.
And I've only seen it at KatsuCon. I haven't seen it at any other con. But at KatsuCon, you're not allowed to just do a walk-on. So with craftsmanship, you still go on stage. What you do is you just go on the stage and you do 3 poses, typically 10 seconds each for each pose, and then you walk off, right?
Okay.
But at KatsuCon, you had to do some type of performance. Even if it was just craftsmanship. Like, if you just want to do the craftsmanship category, you had to do some type of little movement or more elaborate pose type of thing. A lot of people just went on and swung their sword around with music playing in the background for about 20 seconds, and then that was their skit. Like, clearly they just made the costume and wanted to show it off, but that's how they did it.
The only experience I have with any of that is probably San Diego Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. They have their Masquerade, which is like the biggest thing there every year. You have to like get tickets to go to it and everything.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not sure if it's both where they have to make it and then they have to do a skit, which I'm pretty sure it is though, because I remember one year they did like Godzilla, Mothman, all those characters, and they did a whole skit with it, and they won, which I didn't think that their skit should have won. Mm-hmm. But because I was not entertained, because there was another skit and it was called Rainbow Bright. So the announcer every year, it's the same guy, and so number 39, and he's like Rainbow Bright, and then no one came out on stage once he said it. No one came out, and so he was like, once again, he's like Rainbow Bright. And everyone's cheering it on because Rainbow Bright, come on. Mm-hmm. And so a minute, like, of just calling out Rainbow Bright to come on stage, no one's coming. And then all of a sudden, you hear the track, and it's Joker laughing. And then Joker comes out on stage, and he's like, you really thought Rainbow Bright was about to come out? Ha ha ha, joke's on you. And it was a whole DC skit. It was the funniest skit, well thought out skit I've ever seen. It became legendary at that weekend because everyone's like, Rainbow Bright! Wow! It was the most exciting skit I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
I thought they should have won something for that skit, but they didn't, sadly. But the people who, like, with the costume, who just walked around stage won. I was like, oh, okay. Sure, whatever. And I was so confused. I was also 9 years old, but I was like, how Rainbow Bright should have won. Why did the Moth and Godzilla win?
Yeah. It's a tough thing also with competitions is as an observer, you can never ever guess who would win or give an accurate like idea of, oh, I think this person should win. With skits you have a better idea, but with craftsmanship there's literally no way, because the way they judge this is the thing I love so much about craftsmanship competitions is they go they go really close to you and they lift your seams. Like if you're wearing a skirt, they'll pick up the bottom of the skirt and look at the seams underneath it and just like check all around. Every single part of your costume has to be clean and neat and perfectly proper. If you didn't add a lining, if you didn't add boning, if you have one stitch out of place, if your EVA foam isn't sanded down properly, you're out. Like, the other person who did it better wins. It doesn't matter how much you look like the character. It doesn't matter how attractive you are, how good your makeup is, any of that kind of stuff. It's how good your craftsmanship is. And that's not something you get anywhere else. Because if you're walking throughout a hallway, if you're wearing a big, cool-looking costume that you didn't make, or if you did make it, let's say maybe the seams are sloppy, you're going to get a bunch of attention because you're wearing something big and cool, right? Or if it's just a popular character. Same thing on social media. If you're attractive, you're going to get popular on social media, right? Yep. Doesn't matter you made your costume or this or that. But if someone who spent hours upon hours making a perfectly neat, clean costume that's not a super popular character, they're not going to get any recognition except for at the cosplay competition.
Yeah.
Which I feel so bad because I have met so many people who have spent days to almost a full year on their costume for that event. And they'll win. And I'll go up to them and I'll be like, this is amazing, this is so great. And they'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. I won the competition and everything. And I'm like, why aren't you more, like, out there? Why doesn't everyone know you for this? Because this is so cool. But it's like you said, Dorothy, it's the people who are attractive, who look like the character, exactly like the character.
Yeah, and at competition,
really
it doesn't matter if your body type matches the character or if you're attractive or anything like that. It's just your craftsmanship. And another great thing about it, and this is something a lot of people hate about competition, is you have so many amazing cosplayers that finally come out for the contest that have been working on it all year long, right? Your costume can be pretty much perfect, like the best you've ever done. And you still might not win anything if there are other people there that did better than you. And there's nothing you can do to, like, beat them or do better than them because it's just what you did prior to the convention. And I think that the reason I think that's a good thing is because you know there's nothing you can do now when you're at the contest. It's just, I'm gonna have fun and enjoy being with other people who also love doing what I do. It's not, oh, I have to do this to beat these people. Like, it's already over. Prejudging's over. There's nothing else you can do to add to it. Just enjoy it at this point. Wow. Yeah, I've met quite a few people who get salty about not winning the contest. I've entered into, I want to say, like 5 or 6 cosplay competitions. Maybe? I think that's it. I think just 5 or 6.
Nice.
Yeah. It's fun. I enjoy it. I did performance twice, but I typically just do craftsmanship. So I don't even count those. So I guess if we're including that, then I have like 7 times I've been in the contest. But they're not very good. Okay, I want to tell you guys a little story. The last cosplay competition I entered into, I felt so confident in the costume that I made. It is my best work to this day that I've ever done. It's my Hero Deku cosplay. Like, that's my best one I've ever done so far. Still not perfect, still needs work. I'm redoing parts of it now to make it look better to this day. But it was so good. Like, I was proud of myself is what I mean when I say it was so good. It was not perfect, but I was proud of myself. And at this con, I made a whole bunch of friends. I talked to a bunch of new people. I didn't have a bunch of close friends at this con, so I just kind of, I made friends there. And one person that I did meet said they were also going to be in the cosplay competition the next day. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, rooting you on. And so I do the cosplay contest, right? I, do the prejudging the day before, and then I walk up there on stage. I'm like, whatever. And then the cosplay judge went up and announced the winners, and I won the journeyman category. So there were 3 categories. There was the categories for the beginners, journeyman, and experts. And then there was the best in show, and I won best journeyman. Like, thank you guys.
Dorothy!
Well, that's the biggest award I've ever won. Obviously, to win a competition, you have to win best in show. But, like, I won best in my category. Like, what? That's never happened before. I was so excited.
Go, Dorothy.
Yeah. And whenever I went up there to get the award, she said, these were some of the cleanest seams she's ever seen on a costume. Or, like, in her time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The materials were wrong in the wrong sizes, but the seams were clean. So, yeah. So I went up there and got my award. And then I went back to the room pretty quick. I didn't want to, like, walk around with the award and flaunt it, right? I mean, I did for about, like, 10 minutes. I just, like, sauntered around, taking my time to get back to the hotel. Like, oh, don't mind me flashing my, little trophy. It wasn't even a trophy. It was actually, like,
I won.
Yeah. Have you, you point to your trophies on your
I pointed to it on my desk. Yeah.
Above your bed.
Yeah, so I put my award away, and then I went back to the con, and I met up with the person I told you about that I had met the day prior, and I was like, oh, hey, you look awesome today, because this is the first time I actually got to see them since the day before when they were in a different costume, so this time I finally got to see their costume they were in. They went on stage about the same time I did, so I wasn't able to see them on stage, which stunk. Yeah, so I saw them in person, I was like, oh my gosh, you look awesome, you look so cool. I think they were cosplaying, like, JoJo. It was some super sparkly, like, vibrant colors, really good. I didn't know their category or anything, but I found out pretty quick they were also a journeyman because I said to them, you look so good. Oh, did you have fun at the cosplay contest? That was so much fun. And they said, yeah, it was fun. Too bad my seams weren't clean enough.
Oh, God.
Oh. No, thank you.
Right? Like, excuse me?
I'm sorry.
So salty. Yeah. And for what? Like, it's not that deep. You're mad at me? Excuse? Oh.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. It's like the best I've ever done for a costume, and you're gonna, like, get on me about this? Rude. And we had such a good conversation the day prior, too, and now they're gonna act like that. You have that at times. And there was another time I was in competition. So, you tend to get stuck sitting next to people you don't know at competition because they just jumble you up, and you have to sit next to other competitors, right? So that they can line you up properly. A lot of cons, surprisingly, don't categorize you by by novice, journeyman, and expert. Sometimes they call it different things at different cons, but you guys get the point.
Beginner.
Yeah. Beginner, experienced-ish, and then expert.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they don't. You think they'd sit them together so you can see them go across stage and understand each level. But a lot of times they just jumble us all together. And sometimes you have walk-ons, people who didn't make the costume but just want to, like, show off their costume on stage. Sometimes people aren't even competing that are, like, sitting with you.
They just did it by category. I never knew that part, so...
I didn't know that either.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do organize it by category. Usually they'll announce it. They'll say, here are the beginners, and then they'll tell you each person that comes across stage. And then, and here's the next category, but a lot of times they just jumble you all together, at least the ones I've been to. But I always try to make friends with the people I'm sitting next to, right? Because that's what I do. Because I want to be friends with people who also make costumes, so then we can learn from each other, right? Mm-hmm. So I've had good experiences with that. I've, like, had really good conversations with people who I was just stuck sitting next to at cons. I've had other times where it wasn't so great. So one time I was sitting next to this one girl, and like I said, I always try to make friends every single time. So I have a couple stories where this has happened. This one girl, she was pretty sweet. I asked her a little bit about how she made her costume. It was a dress, and then it was a super fancy crown that she was wearing. I didn't know her character, so I asked her what the character was and, like, which part she made. So she bought the dress from Goodwill and had the crown commissioned.
So she didn't actually make anything.
No. I mean, I didn't interrogate her, so she may have made some pieces of it or altered it or something, but, like, I asked her briefly, because usually if you ask someone who made their costume, which parts did you make? They get excited, and they'll be like, I made this, right? Yeah. And they'll go into it, and they'll tell you way more than you asked for.
Yeah.
Just because it's exciting. Someone finally asked, right? Because a lot of times you can't tell when someone makes their costume. Like, how would you know? If it's commissioned or bought, or you can't tell a lot of times. Unless it's like a costume that everyone's buying, right? You're like, I have that, right?
Yeah.
But besides that. But yeah, and then, like, later on in the show, I actually won I won Best Prop in this contest, which was super exciting. It was my first contest I ever entered into.
Nice.
It was super small. Yeah, I only won Best Prop because there was, like, no one there. I won't talk it up too much. It was a very tiny convention. There were, like 4 people made props. And so then there was, like... and the Best in Show had a prop also. So clearly they couldn't win because they already won Best in Show.
They were like, we can't give you another one. So...
Yeah. I saw the runner-up for Best Prop. And I was like... Wait a minute, my prop's kind of... And then they were like... And they said my name, like, oh, me? Are you sure? This is all I got. But thanks. Would not fly at a big convention. I would not have won a thing if I went to a large one. But, exciting.
It's still an achievement right there.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, so I won the award, and then I sat back down next to the person, and then, we finished up the rest of the awards, because, the best awards get announced at the end. Right? And mine was a smaller one, but yeah. So then they ended up the competition, and then I went to stand up, and I heard the girl next to me say quietly, I don't know if she was talking to me or just to herself, but she said, I really thought I would have won something. Like, in this just genuinely sad voice.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah! I didn't know what to say to her.
Maybe next time? I don't know.
I wonder if she's one of... Because a lot of people enter into competition expecting that they're going to win something, Like, they'll think, oh, I did a good job, so that means I'm gonna win. No, you're put up against all these different cosplayers at different skill levels, at different strengths. I mean, if there's only 3 categories of skill level at a con, right? But you have so much variety in between all those levels. So if you, like, literally just started cosplay and you're in the beginners category, you can have someone who's been cosplaying for 4 years, but is finally getting decent at it, also in the same category as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people lose their drive to be in competition or make things after they lose. But you don't even lose, it's just, there's so many, you win awards, you don't win the contest. That's not how people talk about it, you know? Like, and there's so many judges awards and all the different categories and the runners up for those categories. It's not like you win or lose, but it's how some people act about it, and it's sad.
I'm just saying, we gotta go do a skit together. I want to do a skit. It's like, I've always wanted to do a skit for a con. Because I've watched them on YouTube all the time. I look up, the Masquerade for this con, Masquerade for this con, the skits for this con, or like for different fandoms. I'm just like, this seems like so much fun. I would love to do this one day. I don't know what we would do.
Yeah, is there a certain cosplay you wanted to do for that already?
No, not really, but I just want to do it.
Okay, but if we do a skit at a con, I have so much respect for people who don't record their sound beforehand and use the microphones day of. So we gotta be the microphone people.
Oh, like, thank God.
It doesn't sound as good ever, but it just feels more real. Like, I respect it more whenever and it's also harder a lot of times to set up, but...
is we redo one of your performance skits.
Oh my God! Look, guys, I tried doing skits when I was like 14 with my buddies. All right, it was not good. We had fun, but they were not good.
I think it'd just be fun to do.
It would be.
Yeah,
I know. I think my parents, if I ever did that, they would be there, like, in the audience to record it, because it's like we would perform it, so they would want to record it. That's just how my parents are, so they would want to, like,
my parents
would get the tripod out.
I don't think they'd want to be there in person, because they'd have to, like, buy a ticket just to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, they would, though. That's the thing.
That's sweet, though.
But then they would have fun doing the con, whatever. But they would totally do it.
I've asked my friends in the past, I know it's silly, but I want them to record me walking across the stage for all of 30 seconds.
Yeah!
Like, can you please record it? And one time I asked my brother to do it, and he could not. Like, he got a blurry picture of me half walking off stage. He was like, "You were too fast! I couldn't get it!" Dude, you should have had the camera out ready! No!
Okay, Dorothy, whenever your next competition is, you can depend on us, because you know I record everything and I take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
Count on me to be that person yelling your name in the crowd, screeching your name, and then getting all the audience to yell your name.
You'll know where we are.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll know.
You'll know. You can't miss us. You know what? I'm gonna bring my tripod. We're gonna record it. We're gonna rewatch it. We're gonna, like, it's gonna be on a tape. So
I want to watch my 30 seconds where I walk across the stage and look awkward with my poses. Please.
Yes! We're gonna have it's gonna be a whole thing, because afterwards we're all gonna be, like, in a hotel room, and then we're gonna rewatch just rewatch it over and over again.
I'm into this. Yes, please.
Yeah. I love doing that stuff. I have, at cons, when there's some karaoke stuff, I love to record my friends, like, singing or dancing, or whatever they're doing. It is, because we look back on it, and we're like, oh, this was so much fun in the moment. This was so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, one time, at Salt Lake City Comic-Con, they had a little karaoke machine and everything, and then you can sign up, and it's like there's a huge stage, and it's right in the front. So when people leave and enter, you hear the karaoke. I was with some of my friends, and they were like, "Oh, you should go up there. You should go do it." Because I was already, like, busting a move, and they're like, "You gotta go bust a move up there while singing." And I'm like, "Okay." So I signed up, and it was a really long line, for that. So we had like 2 hours to waste before it was my turn.
Oh, wow.
And we had to go to the meetup. As we're kind of just chilling around, me and a few people, like more and more people kept coming towards us and coming to us because we were in My Hero Academia cosplay, of course. And I was in Inko. And there was a Hero and Villas meetup. So we all decided like, oh, why don't we all go to the meetup together? And then afterwards, we'll run over to the karaoke and we'll be fine. And me and one of my friends, like halfway through the meetup, I was like, oh, let's go. My turn's gonna be coming up soon. So me and her, we run back. I was like 2 turns away. As I go up on stage to perform, all of a sudden, I just hear people going, Mom, con mom! And it's like 50 to 60 people running towards the stage because the meetup just got over with to come watch and record it and to dance along. And I was just like, oh my god, this is so perfect. This is like one of those Disney moments where your parents make it last minute to your performance or something. You know? You're like, oh no, they're not going to show up. And then they just appear. That's what it was like. So I bust my move. I sing Uptown
with, like,
Funk.
A swarm of people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they dance on the side, like on the side of the stage. We're like, whoa, and got down. And I was having the time of my life. And then I find out last week or something, that my stepmom, literally 2 minutes before I went up to the forum, she was really tired and they had seats there, went over there and sat to watch the karaoke performances. She watched me perform and she watched that whole thing happen. And it was just like, it really was a Disney moment.
Oh my gosh.
My parents saw me perform. My friends saw me perform. What is this? And then they also got recordings of it. It was like one of my favorite memories from that con.
That's so fun.
Oh. Man, I love karaoke at conventions, like, because everyone, like, you're good at singing, Grace. I will admit that. But a lot of people at conventions like to do karaoke who are not good at singing. And it makes me feel so comforted as someone who squeaks and does not hit the notes that they can all just go up there and not sing well and just have a great time, right?
Yeah.
So my buddy and I, we had been like continuously psyching ourselves up to sing Princess and the Pauper, one of the Barbie songs.
I'm just like you. You're just like me.
We were gonna go up there and sing it, like duet it at some point. We like kept psyching ourselves up. We were like, oh, we're gonna do it this time or at this karaoke, but we just kept chicking out. And then we went to one panel that was like, it wasn't a cosplay contest, but it was, oh, you're gonna love this, Bekah, a cosplay catwalk. It was like the lazy Sunday cosplay catwalk where you could just show up and you just like stand up and talk about your costume a little bit and say your name. And that was all. Just like a little panel to show off your cosplay. Real simple, real cute. So we go to that, and after 15 minutes of this 2-hour-long panel, everyone has already gone up that wanted to.
Oh
and no one else was coming into the panel room.
What?
So they were like, they go up there and they say, so we're just gonna be karaoke now. We're just gonna do karaoke. So everyone was into it though. I'm telling you, only a handful of people left. Like my friend and I were like, let's do it. This is the chance. This is the day it's finally come to us. We go up there, like, yeah, we signed up. Like, so everyone was signing up on this little piece of paper that the panelists just randomly pulled out. Like, they just had a little notebook, and they were like, oh, yeah, write down your name and the song you want to do. And so we just wrote it down, and then we sat back down, and we waited for our turn, and we were sitting there, both of us had our phones out, and we had the lyrics up, and we were, like, studying, and we were hyping ourselves up as the other people were singing. We're like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna rock this, we've been playing in this for so long. We've been practicing in the car for this moment, preparing, right? This is just the chance, random last minute karaoke, right? Well, about, I want to say the karaoke went on for like 40 minutes, and a bunch of people had signed up, right? We were near the end because we were shy and waited like in behind the line of people instead of trying to rush out in the front.
Yeah.
Like 40 minutes passed, and then they said, well, we're just gonna go ahead and end the panel early because we have something else we want to do.
Oh, no.
And so then they, like, left the panel room. My friend and I were just like, ouch.
You were so close.
Yeah.
You guys were ready.
We were finally gonna, well, we kept chickening out. Like, we'd be like, oh, okay, this con has karaoke at this hour, let's go sign up. And then we just, wouldn't, because we were nervous. But we were finally like, oh, because we both were horrible at singing. It's okay, though. It's a convention. They're not gonna say anything to you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's, like, the great thing about conventions, is that, like, there isn't this super high standard. You know what I mean? That you have in, like, regular society to act a certain way or be a certain way. We're all just nerds, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to be great at any of it.
We're all there for each other.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
nobody cares if you're a good singer.
Yeah, like, I mean, you have people who, like, if you're new to making a costume, and you enter into competition, no one's gonna be mean to you about it. Like, the other cosplayers, at least. I had a cosplay judge be rude to me before, but not the people in the crowd at all. Like, if you walk around with a costume, it's your first time ever making something, but it's a popular character, or just some people love the character, they're gonna go up to you and give you love. Like, even if it's fallen apart off your body, they're still gonna be like, oh yeah, you look great.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You have
true.
that safe space at cons. It's awesome. I want to share the one time a judge was actually mean to me. It was only once. Like, typically, they're all positive experiences at cosplay contests. At least for me, you have to have a good attitude. You can't go in thinking, oh, I'm gonna win, or if I don't win, it means I suck or something. You should always go in to have fun, and if you win something, it's a plus. It's a bonus. It means that your cosplay was good, but not winning anything doesn't mean your cosplay was bad, right? Like, that's the way to look at it.
Yeah, it just means that, like, there's room for improvement.
Yeah, well, not even that, honestly. So the thing is that, like, you can go in with an amazing... I'm trying not to use specific examples of amazing cosplayers I know. But I'm like, you can go in with a fantastic costume that looks absolutely amazing. Like, expert level category. But then another person goes in, expert level category. You can have something as small as their seams didn't line up, so the other person won. Or this person made... like, this part of their wig, this person didn't alter their wig, so then the person who altered their wig wins. Like, you can have the smallest little details. So it doesn't even mean that. Like, it could just be that there was another person who did more than you. Your cosplay can be absolutely perfect and amazing and no room for improvement, but someone else still wins.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like, it's a reflection of how good they are. I know. It's like, because it's not like...
Yeah.
They really do go up close to you, flip your seams, and take a look under, like, as much as they can look at. They will look at without, of course, violating you or like ripping your clothes off.
Yeah.
Although it's a good idea to take pictures of your clothes inside out to show them your seams, because if they can see that could give you an advantage over another person also. It's so much, right? But it's like those small details can decide if you win. It's awesome. Anyway, I'm just like getting excited about cosplay competition again.
It's cute.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate it, Dorothy. We love when you talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the one time that the person was mean to me, so it was a small convention. I signed up online, like I registered online. I was actually doing performance and craftsmanship. It was a Love Live outfit I was doing, and I was performing with a friend. And yeah, I was more excited about the craftsmanship, though. She didn't make her outfit, I just made mine, right? So I did craftsmanship for myself. It was one of those where you enter into both categories, but you can only win one. And I was like, we're not going to win performance, but hey, maybe craftsmanship, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're supposed to line up, like, be there for prejudging a half an hour early, right? So I had my time set up, and I went there half an hour early. It was a little close, so I had a friend that was coming to the convention that was going to stay with us at the hotel. They got a ride to the convention, but they were going to stay at the hotel with us, right? And they were borrowing my cosplay shirt, so I needed to meet them whenever they showed up and lead them to the hotel room and give them their key and give them this cosplay shirt that they were going to borrow from me that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to show up about an hour after my prejudging was going to be, like, after the time I had allotted, so I knew it was going to be close. I knew it would be, like, right after prejudging, I had to go get them. But you had to show up early. So I showed up early hoping that maybe I'd get in early. That never happens, ever. Don't even think you'd get in early for prejudging. They're always over. So I go and I check in, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my name. I'm signed up for this time. And they're like, oh, okay, great. you can just wait out here. And I said, okay. And a lot of people were standing, like lined up against the wall standing. I was wearing heels. I never wear heels. I cannot stand in them. They really hurt my feet. So I found a little bench. It was a little far off from the prejudging. Like, I wasn't super up against the door like everyone else was. I was a little bit more off to the side, and I sat. And I heard someone say that the judges were on break, like they were eating lunch. And I was like, I'm supposed to be here for prejudging in like 20 minutes now. And then they said that they were on break. So I was a little annoyed. I'm like, okay, no, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah. Time passes. I'm sitting there patiently, a little nervous because my friend is going to be here any second, right? But I can't move, otherwise I'll lose my spot for prejudging. So 30 minutes pass after the time I was supposed to be in for prejudging. I should have said something earlier, but I was too nervous because it was now after my time slot by 30 minutes. And I was like, are you kidding me? But I tried to be patient. It's very, very common for times to run over at conventions, especially with prejudging and competition and stuff. There's some cons where it's like, it's really common for the cosplay contest itself to run over by an hour or more. Like, yeah, that much. That's common though. I'm not just one convention, I've been to several where it's a recurring thing. So I was not gonna, but it's hard. Judging a cosplay competition, that's really hard. You know, like, I just told you about all the themes and stuff. How hard is it for the judge to have to look at every single thing and decide? Oh my gosh, right? So I didn't want to be rude or get in the way. I just wanted to be patient. So then I said to the person, I was like, hey, do you know when I'll be able to go next? And then they looked at their chart and they were like, oh, sorry, I didn't check you in.
What?
I know, I was there like 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
Told them my time. They skipped over me and started taking other people. After they'd already had me waiting because they were on break whenever they should have been, taking my time. Yeah, and again, I was so patient. So I sat there for about an hour, waiting when it was supposed to be only about 30 minutes because I came early. Yeah, and then my friend actually did come. I don't remember, honestly, the exact times. This was years ago. I had to have my brother try to go find my friend, who he had never met before, and guide my friend to the hotel room. Because I couldn't leave my spot, otherwise I'd lose my, prejudging slot.
Yeah.
So I had to just sit there and wait. So, he had to help my friend up to the room, and then my friend just didn't have the cosplay shirt, so she just didn't get to cosplay until I was done, and I could get the shirt for her. Yeah, so, anyway, so I was already, I was patient, though. I was like, it's okay. So then I finally went into the prejudging room, they finally let me in. They waited a few more minutes and they let me in. And I walked in, and I was super nervous. This was the second time I had ever done competition. This is only the second time I'd ever done it, now that I'm remembering. Yeah, wow. I was 16? No, I was 17 by then, yeah. Yeah, so I was really nervous, though, right? And all those stressors and stuff. So I went in there, and I handed them my reference picture, and they looked at me, and they, there were three of them, right? Three of them at the little table. And one guy sighs, and he's like, what did you make?
What?
I know!
You're the one that made me wait.
Oh, no. He said, what did you make?
Yeah, still.
Yeah. Okay, alright, yeah.
Why are they mad
you're
at
here
you?
to judge.
I thought you misheard me for a second. Yeah, I'm like... And again, I try to be patient because I understand it's ridiculously difficult to judge a cosplay competition, but I'm like, it was so rude. They were said it all condescending as if I didn't make it, and I'm like... So I paused for a second, and then I said, oh, I made almost everything. I made everything but the shoes, because I did. It didn't look good. Like I said, this was my second time ever in competition. Of course it wasn't going to look great, right? And I said I was 17, although some 17-year-olds are very good at craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Not me, though. Not me at 17. Anyways. So then, I don't remember. I just started explaining it. They were quiet and awkward, so I was just like, all right, I'll just tell them things then. I said, yeah, I made the dress out of stretch velvet, and then this part is, hem tape, and I just slowly started explaining all the pieces, really awkwardly, and then this one girl from the judges table stands up and walks closer to me, as I'm trying to explain how I made the costume, and she says, okay, well, I'm just gonna take a look here. And then this is the first time someone actually checked my seams at a contest. It's scary whenever you're new to this, right? So she picks up the end of my skirt and flips it over, and I can't even, I'm so nervous. I was looking at the two judges in front of me who are glaring me down. And the girls just all around me, behind me, doing gentle little touches to feel my costume. And I'm trying to explain everything. Like, I'm just talking. That's what you do. Like, they have to understand what you made, right? And they had no questions for me. Like, they weren't even like, oh, how did you make this part? Or, oh, this or that. Because after that time, I had times where my costume did look bad. Like, there were some problems with it. And they still pretended. Like, they pretended like they cared. Like, they're... Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's a politeness thing, right? But she was just, she walked away, and I, like, explained, I remember she said, like, Like, I explained when I had made another part of it. And she said, And then, like, the one girl was like, okay, well, that's all. Make sure you come to the, cosplay competition, 30 minutes early. And I was like, okay, yeah, gotcha. Which I was a little confused, because before they had said an hour early to the competition, but I was like, okay, the judges just told me 30 minutes early. Yeah, and then I left. It's just
That's so upsetting.
Did you show up half an hour early or an hour early?
So, alright, so let's get into this. Okay, so I had a panel that I went, so again, I had to be in this one costume for the pre-judging, and then I had to be in the costume for the cosplay contest, right? I had a panel in between that time that I was going to be in a different costume. So I changed out of that costume. I prepared for this, though. I timed myself at home. Like, I got into both costumes. Like, I timed myself and made sure I could do it in time. And I had it right.
Training.
Yeah, no, I seriously did. I made sure I was going to be ready. I decided that I was just going to have my makeup be slightly off for the character at the panel so it can be right for the masquerade, right? I'm like, okay, we got this down, right? But because they said it was 30 minutes early, I was like, instead of an hour, I'm like, oh, I have a little bit more time. So I was taking my time changing, thinking I had 30 minutes, and then it wasn't the person who was going to be in the skit with me, but it was her girlfriend. She comes up to the hotel room, banging on the door, and is like, Dorothy, why are you not down here? The cosplay, you should have been down here like 20 minutes ago. And I was like, what? They told me 30 minutes early, and she said, no, it's an hour early. So the judges told me the wrong time. It may have been that performance was supposed to be down there earlier. And remember, I was in performance and craftsmanship. But when I went down there, so I had to rush to get it all on. Like, because there were so many pieces, right? And I was changing out of the other ones. So many pieces to the point where I made sure to time myself before I accepted being in the panel, right?
Oh my gosh.
I, put everything on as quick as I can, and I rushed down there. Everyone was there. It wasn't just, the performance and craftsmanship came later. Everyone was already there. 40 minutes or whatever early. I'm getting confused with the times myself. Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
Wow.
They told me the wrong. So they were a jerk to me. They were jerks to me, and they told me the wrong time.
That's horrible.
And this isn't
made you look bad. It just makes you look bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then and again, this is not the standard practice.
Well, also, it's not just that they were a jerk to you, and they didn't tell you the wrong time.
And
that
they
lady
made you
didn't
wait.
check you in.
Yeah. I waited for so long.
You were there ahead of time, and then she just was like, okay, and then just didn't check you in. And then on top of that, they were rude to you, and then told you the wrong time again.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I know. Oh my god, I was so upset. And then we went first also for the skit.
Oh.
We were the first skit.
Gosh.
Yeah. First up on stage. It went fine. I mean, we messed up a little bit, but besides that, it was just a dance skit, Love Live dance skit. Not anything unique, really. And it's not like we did great anyways, we wouldn't have. But, But yeah, let me tell you, it's not the standard. So looking back, I now understand that my seams were god-awful. So what happened was, they saw my costume and they could tell from a distance, okay, yeah, no, she's not gonna win, right? They already had better people. And then she walked up closer to me, and one look at the seams, you would have known, oh no, this is not. I understand that now.
Though.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time.
To me, though.
Yes. Okay, so it was about...
Pretend.
I want to say about...
Pretend like you haven't seen anyone else today.
Yes, yeah. About 7 months after this convention, I would go to a different one, and obviously only 7 months had passed, right? I did not have, some amazing improvement from then. My seams were still pretty trashy. My material wasn't great. It is what it is, okay? The judges, they didn't want to look at my seams, because I slightly suggested... I was like, oh... well, did you want to look at my seams? Or I think they look pretty nice. And they were like, oh, I think we got what we need. But they were, so they obviously already knew I wasn't going to win. They already had decided that pretty quickly. But they were so kind, though. I kept saying, oh, well, I have one picture showing that the back of this is actually accurate if you look at that one. And then this one judge, hurries up to flip through and look at that. Like at that picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they actually
that's
were
cute.
super paying attention.
Yeah.
To everything I said. Just
Yeah, that's
acting like
nice.
they cared. Not acting like they were annoyed that I had even entered. But
Yeah.
it was only, don't be like scared though, thinking that if
Well-
you enter in, the judges are going to be mean to you. Because this is
Yeah.
one time.
Because it can,
Years ago.
I feel like
Yeah.
if you're gonna judge, you should just be nice to everyone. It doesn't matter what their skill level is. Because if you're
Yeah.
not, then you're gonna, like, deter some people from even entering. Because it's
Yeah.
like, why would I enter if they're just gonna be mean to me the entire
Seriously.
time?
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to go through that again?
Yeah.
Like, at least pretend like you care, even if you don't. Like, even if you know they're not gonna win. Pretend. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, thank you so much, Dorothy, for telling us about cosplay contests.
Oh, you're
or
welcome, Grace.
masquerades, or
Anytime.
catwalks. Cosplay catwalks.
You know they got more names too, I just can't think of them now.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't even know. I know the masquerade one. But everyone that's listening, please do go follow us on all our social medias. Cozy Con Corner on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I haven't really been active on any of those because I'm mostly the one that posts on our accounts. But I'm going to be trying to get back to more on that. Probably showing some deleted scenes we've had. Also, please do email in your stories you guys have of conventions. We would love to read them out on the podcast, so please do that. Look forward to that when that happens. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and look forward to the next episode. Bye.